You just broke some news, I believe, on your Twitter account. There is a gambling investigation now happening in the baseball world. Obviously, we just saw this with Malik Beasley. We've seen it before. Jonte Porter. Terry Rozier has been cleared, I believe, of his gambling investigation. But now that the leagues have kind of linked up with the government and also the sports books themselves, they've been able to track all activity, is seemingly what we have learned about the process. It's happened in the NFL as well. What do we know at this moment about Luis Ortiz? Has this happened a lot in baseball, and is this the beginning of this type of trend to happen in the MLB?
Pat, a little more than a year ago, Tucupita Marcano, who was an infielder for the San Diego Padres, was banned for life for placing bets on nearly 400 Major League Baseball games. And look, in Major League Baseball, there is one rule, and that rule is very simple. Do not bet on baseball. And if you do bet on baseball, you face a lifetime ban. There were 4 other players during that time who were banned for a year because they were in the minor leagues when they bet on Major League games. But baseball is just the kind of sport that when you have the ability to gamble the way that you do these days is rife for potential corruption. I mean, you can bet on individual pitches, Pat, to be balls or strikes. And when that's the case, and there are hundreds of pitches being thrown every game, the ability for a pitcher or for a player to have one of those little minuscule events turn into a windfall of money potentially, that's why Major League Baseball and the other professional sports leagues have partnered as strongly as they have with gambling integrity organizations, because the sports just leave opportunity for corruption to happen. And look, if Luis Ortiz does wind up getting banned from Major League Baseball for gambling, if there are alerts that were sent out, or if there are specific pitches that are being looked at here, it's a problem for the sport. And listen, it's great when this sort of thing gets flagged, but it also makes you think, how many times does this happen where it doesn't get flagged as well? And what does that mean for the integrity of the game?
I don't want to just point out that the NBA has had this, because I think the NBA is a good league and they don't want any of this shit either. They've had a ref, they've had some players. It's not good. I mean, it's not good for any of the sports. We agree 100% with what you're saying, with what the leagues are saying. We cannot have anybody questioning the integrity of our league, or we turn into Savannah Bananas. Okay, this can't, and not that that's a bad thing, but everybody needs to think what they're watching is legit. In the NBA, we watch the sport and we think to ourselves, oh, that is a gettable league. And then in baseball, as soon as I read about this pitcher, I'm thinking, my first reaction when I read your tweet was like, oh yeah. Because let alone balls and strikes. I mean, they can throw a ball on the 15th pitch of the night, I'm going to throw a ball or whatever. And then on the 20th night, pitch of the night, I'm going to throw a ball, because you kind of can. You can set that, you throw that way outside, and it's an easy write-off, like, oh, it stuck to his finger, or it's a bad throw. It's right. Like, I wonder how they investigate this. If they don't have it tracked, it's going to be tough to legitimize it from a pitcher from just watching film, do you think? Because can't anything happen? I mean, we see overthrows, we see in the dirt, we see that type of shit on a regular basis anyway. So would it be easy to figure out if somebody's throwing a game or a bet for somebody, or is it all going to be transactional records, you think?
Yeah, it feels like it would have to be tied, Pat, to just more than that. More than, let's say, if there's a large amount of money placed on a specific pitch, how do you tie that back to the pitcher himself? I don't know what the answer to that is at this point. But that even being a possibility,
that's so gettable.
Has to be alarming for Major League Baseball, knowing that there are hundreds of pitchers every year who are thrown in Major League Baseball games, and all of them, you have to track every single pitch, every single bet, line them up. I mean, it's a large undertaking, and the sort of thing that Major League Baseball has to take seriously, because the more players who are tied to gambling, the more the question goes back to the league. Is this a clean league? Is this something that, as we're watching, we can take seriously and believe what's going on out there is actually happening without, an invisible hand?